What's up, everybody? It is your boy Mugthadude here, and we are back with some Hero Coliseum, guys. Now we're hopping in with the top 10 best speed figures list, in my opinion, guys. This is simply my opinion. I had to do some actual math for this because damage dealt was a huge deal. Let me just find the comment that somebody said, now you need to do defense. I will be doing defense next, and then HP will be last. Top 10 best speed figures list. Shout out to Anushe Khan. Shout out to you. And then shout out to Asma Sadaf, and shout out to Ian Santiago. You said best defensive list, the other two said speed list. And also shout out to Gogeta. No Majub. Majub's his attack stat is not high enough to make it there. You have to get him below that 10%, so that's why I didn't add him. Now, guys, let's get on with the video. So, Blue Gogeta is number 10, and a lot of you are thinking, Muggs, how could you put Blue Gogeta number 10, considering, look at his speed, and that's all you need to look at. If we're looking about best speed, boom, you're done. No, there's a lot more things that go into it than just pure speed, because Perfect Cell is one of the fastest characters in the game, and he didn't make the list. Two reasons. I don't factor in 01 skills, even though I have 01 skills here. I didn't put 01 skills into it regardless, because there's so many good characters that have 01 that you could put 01 skills on, and it just makes them infinitely better. Like Super Saiyan 4 Goku, OG1, isn't on this list. He would be the slowest figure on this list, which there is two figures that have less than 5,000 speed on this list, and there's a good reason they have less than that. But outside of that, guys, everybody has above like 5,000 speed or above 6,000 speed. Now, guys, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, number 3, 393, level max 99, HP is 4340, attack is 4740, defense is 590, speed is 6620, God Punisher is his ultimate attack, guys. Now, posing skill, place on a trigger score for plus 700 to your own defense if first, and plus 1000 to speed if second. Repeatable, ignore opponent's defense and damage reduction effects if own master's HP is 50% or less that turn only. Top left, bottom right, guys. Now, the reasons I have him number 10, guys, is I don't even go over this figure a lot because I don't use this figure a lot. Honestly, I think people hyped him up too much. I think the fact that he came out with the new Broly, not the new UR Broly, the new Ultra Instinct Goku, which I think the new Ultra Instinct Goku is still, like, I think he's, I don't want to say better than him, but I think more hyped. I think Ultra Instinct Goku is more hyped, and I don't think I think he's a little bit better than Ultra Instinct Goku. Spoilers, the new Ultra Instinct Goku did not make the list. The speedier one did not make the list because 01 skills aren't factored in. Otherwise, Jiren would have made the list. I just want to say that. 01 skills are not factored in on this list, guys. So, let's break down his posing skill. So he gains 700 defense per turn going first. That puts him at 1200 defense. That still is not a lot of defense for a character with only 4,000 HP, guys. Considering Vados has less than 4,000 or 4,000 HP, and they gave her almost 4,000 defense. So to give him only 1,200, and if he does get hit after you go first because you didn't kill the character, which, spoilers, you're not going to kill a character with him first turn unless you're hitting another Blue Gogeta. Also, the ignoring opponent's defense and damage reduction effects if own master's HP is 50% or less, that's all cool and all, but you gotta risk your master HP, because what if they actually end up killing your master because you went on made a play trying to get him to ignore defense and damage reduction? Now, guys, he does hit like a truck when he does ignore damage reduction and ignore opponent's defense, because, well, he has 4,000. He has 4,000 attack. If you add another 10% on the base skills, guys, he's hitting 10% harder. He's going to be hitting for like 5,440, I believe. Yeah, 5,440. And he's going to be ignoring their defense, and he's going to be ignoring damage reduction like a Super Saiyan 4 Goku. The only person that can hinder the amount of damage he does after the 50% is Vados. Other than that, guys, there's really nothing great about that figure outside of his speed. Other than that, I really don't like him that much. Only reason I have him 10 is because purely off of his speed stat, guys. Now, I might be contradicting myself sometimes with some of these figures, but these are just my opinion, and if I want to make a speed team, who am I going to put on a speed team to, one, go first, two, kill a character? Because speed teams are made to kill a character, go first, and kill characters. So, number 9. Now, this is where it gets tricky, guys. This is where it gets very tricky. Clearly, you're thinking, Muggs, he doesn't have that much speed compared to him. Like I said, speed isn't everything on this list. Speed is a part of it, but not all of it. It also is how their posing skill affects the team. Number 325, Vegeta Super Saiyan 4, the second generation one. Level max 99, HP is 5170, attack is 5370, defense 1040, speed is 5050, ultimate attack is final shine attack, and posing skill Princely Pride. Place under trigger score for plus 700 to own defense, plus 20% to own damage dealt, and plus 10% damage dealt by all opponents, plus 10% damage dealt by all allies on the field, stacks during that turn only, top left, bottom right. Now, his trigger squares, he shares the same ones as Super Vegeta. That is also why he's not good, because Super Vegeta, I will always put Super Vegeta over him, no matter what. Now, guys, the reason he's number 9 and higher than him is I also factor in up base skills. So, he's gaining 700 defense, which puts him at 1700 defense, more than him first turn, and he's getting it no matter what. Yeah, he's getting his 700 no matter what. Then he's making himself do 20% more damage, plus the 10% plus the 5% from that, plus another 5% from another person on the field, so he's doing 10% more damage. That puts him at 6,981 damage dealt. If they have no defense, that's the amount of damage they're going to do. 6,981. If he hits a master that has his defense zeroed out, he's hitting that hard, which is significantly higher than him. Now, not to mention, he's also making other people hit 10% harder. So they are also hitting for 20% more damage because of the up A skills, plus the damage dealt. Every person is hitting 20% harder on the team. That is crazy, because you can put him in front of a Vegeta. You can put him in front of a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, the new one, the old one. You can put him in front of a blue Gogeta. You can put him in front of a blue Vegeta, who also is on this list, guys. So you put him in front of a Godku, who already is getting a 5% naturally every single turn. Just add another 10% on that, and he's hitting 15%, then 20, then 25. So, guys, he really is amazing, considering his HP is good, his attack is decent, his defense is amazing, considering he's gaining 700. The defense isn't an issue, and the speed is pretty good. So if you want to go first and you want to have a character that allows you to go first, but allows you also to hit harder, I highly recommend you throw him on the team. Highly recommend it. If you don't have him, don't go crazy summoning for him, but try, because he is very good, guys. So, number 8, Blue Gogeta. Now, I had this in my head. Like I said, speed isn't everything. Speed is the reason he's above Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. So, number 367, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Gogeta, level max 99, HP 5810. You know what? I'm not even going to go over stats anymore. So, guys, the reason he is over Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta is for 2 reasons. His speed is better. His speed is just leagues ahead of him. 700 more. That's a monstrous thing. There's a reason he's above him. That's 1. 2, he's hitting 20% harder, plus that, which is 30%, and he's ignoring decreases to damage opponent takes. So he's ignoring a Whis, which means he's hitting for 6,190.8 damage. If the Whis' defense is zeroed out, he's hitting that hard, and he's ignoring the Whis. He ignores it. He doesn't get to ignore the Whis. And he's a character with 5,800 HP and 5,700 speed. I think that's a pretty solid thing. And then if you manage not to go first and you slip up, press the wrong number, he's taking 20% less damage as well, guys. Honestly, I think he's a best of both worlds characters. He can honestly hit decent. He's not going to hit like a Vegeta, or he's not going to hit like a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta or something like that. But he's still hitting decently hard. And he also can tank if you manage to go second on accident, or you just purely get outsped. You might be able to tank an attack from like a Bay 18 or something, or a Trunks. But other than that, he's not tanking very much, but he's tanking 20%, which is you put him in front of a Vados, he's not going to crazy hit Vados, but he's going to be able to moderately lower the damage Vados is doing to himself. Now, guys, his trigger squares are really good as well. He goes in front of a Vegeta. He shares trigger squares with him, which is why I say these guys were super close. I think I flip-flopped them 3 times. I originally had him at 10, you at 8. So I switched you to 8, him at 9, him to 10. So now number 7, guys, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. And I know what you're thinking. Muggs, you destroyed him verbally the last time I used him in my showcase. I said I'm disappointed. I think I was too harsh on him because he's a new Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I was like, yo, the hype, new Gogetas, let's get it. And then when I used him, I was like, he's not that good. he's actually not that bad for a speed character. He's not that bad for a speed character, and he's not that bad considering his attack stat is actually ridiculously high for a character with 5,000 attack, 5,000 speed. I didn't mention this. EX20 Gogeta, Super Saiyan 4. His ultimate attack is Big Bang Kamehameha. His stats are moderately good. Pretty good. 7,000 HP, which is better than him, and him. His attack is better than him, and him. His defense is not as good as better than Gogeta's, but Gogeta, if you go second, his defense is not as good as him, and his defense is better than him. His speed is not as good as Blue Gogeta's. It's better than Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta's, and it's not as good as Blue Gogeta's. But, guys, he is hitting for a crazy amount of damage. 7,500 attack stat. He's hitting harder with the 7,500 attack stat plus the 10% from up A skills. He's hitting harder than Blue Gogeta. He's hitting harder than Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and he's not hitting harder than... Oh, no, he is hitting harder than the other one. I think the other one is speed factored in, but the amount of damage the other person did, which is the next one. But also, he's gaining 350 defense he's gaining 350 defense on posing skill, which means he's going to have 10,000 defense, actually. So he is tankier than him. Not as tanky as him as when the posing skill activates, and tankier than you. Not to mention, he's lowering ult damage by 15%, which is it's a low number, guys, but it's a big deal considering if they throw out a pick. Say they have a defensive team and they don't want to kill like one of their harder hitters, like a Jiren. They want to throw them on, and you're going to kill the character. Like, that's getting the ult. Throw him on there, and Piccolo doing 15% less damage on an ult is actually pretty good considering Piccolo won't be hitting that hard regardless. Also considering he has 7,000 HP, so he's tanking it no matter what. Now, the 350 defense on odd turns and 500 speed on even turns, I don't mind that. I really wish it was just a continuous thing. I think that would make him infinitely better. But the 350 defense on odd turns, cool. So he's going to have 1,420 defense first turn, and then the 350 is going to go away. And then the 500 speed's coming in, which means he's going to have 5,660 speed, which is as much as Vidal has, not Vidal, Bay 18 has on my account right now at 10 out of 10, I believe. Which is pretty good considering he has 7,500 attack, guys. So, number 6, I believe, is Blue Vegeta, and he is not used enough. He really isn't, guys. Like, I was doing the math with the plus 30% and then the plus 10%. Nobody's using him enough. Now, his HP is slow, which a lot of these characters, they're speed characters. They're not meant to get hit. They're meant to go first and hit you and kill you. They're not meant to tank. There's a reason right? Is this the end of the list? Yeah, okay, cool. So there's a reason there's a reason he's good. Is because he can tank an attack if he doesn't kill you on accident. He's meant to tank. He's kind of meant to tank. You're not meant to tank. Well, you're kind of meant to tank, but it's not going to be as much. Your defense is still too low. Your HP is too low. His HP is low, but the speed makes up for it. His defense and taking 10% less damage makes up for it. And the fact that he gets a 30% damage buff naturally on his trigger square, plus another 10% from up base skills because 2 other characters on the field equals 10% for him. That's 40%, guys. And he's ignoring damage reduction effects. Like, he's ignoring a Super Saiyan 4 Super Saiyan 4 Goku. He's hitting for 7,210. He's hitting for 7,210 if the character has no defense, and that's it. And they don't have Avados. He's hitting harder, guys. And I want to also mention about this list, this is a list that counters Toa like 95% of the time, outside of like 3 characters. He counters Toa. He doesn't really. Like, it's not bad, but it's not that good. He counters Toa. He counters Toa. He definitely counters Toa. So all of these characters counter one of, if not the best character in the entire game, guys. So the reason he is 6 on this list is because he's getting 40% damage, a 40% damage buff on his trigger square, up A, plus that. He's taking 10% less damage, and he's ignoring damage reduction effects, guys. I think that's one of the craziest things, and I think he is one of the best speed figures in the game. And I think some people need to use him more, because 10 dupes into his speed, 6,200 speed on a character that's hitting for 7,210 and is ignoring damage reduction, all of those things were super positive. Like, there's not one negative thing about him outside of the HP, but every single character on this list has low HP except for 2 or 3. But guys, we'll be right back. Let's get into 5 to 1. You might disagree with me on 5 to 1, or you might super agree with me on 5 to 1. I think that was the easiest part of this list. I think I flip-flopped 2 people. Like, that's it. I think I flipped 2 people, guys. So let's get into it. I love y'all. 5 to 1. See if you guys can guess who 1 is. More than likely you can. All right, guys, you guessed it. Number 5 is Vegeta. Now, the reason Vegeta is on this list, like I said, guys, there's only 2 characters that have less than 5,000 speed. And when I made this list, I was thinking going first and killing characters. There's a reason the attack list I made yesterday, my main goal was going first and killing characters. That meant if the character was fast, but their attack stat still carried them to kill a character easy, that is what made them good. His speed stat is good, but his attack stat really is why he's on this list as well. Like, he's gaining 350 speed per turn. So first turn he's going to have 4490 speed. Then he's going to have like 4860 or something, like 4840 or something like that. He's going to hit 5,000 speed, guys. So if you want to, don't put dupes into his attack, put dupes into his speed, and then you have a 5,000 speed Vegeta with 6,000 attack, and then you're golden. And that's like one of the most perfect figures you can imagine. Not to mention, guys, he's gaining 350 attack and 350 defense, which is making him tankier than some of the figures you saw 10 to 6. He's gaining 350 attack, which is making him have 8,000 attack, which is the highest attack stat on this list. Like, he has a higher attack stat naturally than Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta after Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta gains the 1,000 attack. He's higher than that. His HP is low. His attack is phenomenal. His defense is I don't expect defensive characters to get super tanky. And his speed is 4,140, guys. Now, I just want to mention, Oob is not on this list. I don't like Oob that much. I think Oob, if you're going to run a speed team, and your whole goal is to get characters hit with him, and that's the only way you can gain attack and defense from him is getting characters hit. Honestly, I think that's kind of scary because if you're running a speed team with him, more than likely, you're not going to have that character survive, so you might as well go with a better option, which is there's a better option on this list who is purely better than Oob. It isn't even close. And guys, just to add the cherry on the top, his trigger square is bottom left, top right, bottom left. I can't talk. Top left, bottom right. His trigger squares are phenomenal. He goes in front of a future Gohan. He goes in front of Super Saiyan 4 Gogetas. He goes behind a Speed Vados if you want to run Speed Vados. He goes behind a Vidal. He goes behind Bay 18. He goes in front of a future Trunks. That is like the best posings. That is like the best trigger square spots in the entire game, in my opinion. Like one of, if not the best trigger square spots in the entire game. Outside of Vidal going bottom middle, there's really not more you can go. Plus, he goes behind a Vidal. One of the best characters in the game. And just to put the cherry on top, guys, if you manage to go first, you're making everybody take 10% more damage. And you're doing 10% more damage. That's just a lot of damage, guys. Hashtag damage. Number 4. Future Gohan, my man. I think I screwed him in the last list I did with speed characters. I think I had him like super low, or I don't even think I had him on the list. I think I brought him back. I brought him back for valid reasons because I'm done playing online and I don't factor in 01 skills. So he has 01 skills because I don't use him very often. Because if I play free battles, I'm not trying to just blow the free battle away. I'm actually trying to accomplish something, not just get an ult and see what happens. His HP stat is low. His attack stat is pretty solid. His defensive stat is low, and his speed is phenomenal. It is the best speed stat on the entire list. Nobody's higher. Now he has dupes, so if you put 7 dupes into Blue Gogeta would have a speedier, would have more speed. I would still put him over Blue Gogeta if Blue Gogeta had more speed. I still would do it because he's gaining 500 attack per turn and 350 defense per turn. So first turn 5560 attack and 1240 defense or something like that. And then his speed, 7,000 speed. That's insane already, guys. Now, the best part is the reason I said there's a character that is better than Oob, who has an Oob mechanic, who Oob got his mechanic from him, is when you have a character killed, he's gaining 1,000 attack, which is a huge jump in attack, and 350 defense, and he is making everybody have 500 attack more. That's a mouthful. But that's a lot. Like, 500 attack, which means if somebody gets killed and Super Vegeta is on the field, Super Vegeta now has like almost 8,500 attack. And he's going to have 1,500 attack gain that turn from the 500 that he gets as soon as he's on his trigger square, and then the plus 1,000 if somebody gets killed. Plus, he's getting tankier because if someone gets killed the same turn that he's on his trigger square, he's getting 700 defense, which makes him tankier than Blue Gogeta. That's easy. Not the OG one, the new one, the one that was number 10. Now, guys, I don't want to make this list too long, but number 3. This is where the list got super easy for me. Super easy for me. Bay 18. I think Bay 18 is one of the best, clearly one of the best speed figures in the game, guys. Her HP is low, but everybody's HP is low. That's why I don't even count HP in this. Her attack outside of Cell, but Cell doesn't hit that hard. All he does is gain speed, and if you drop below 50%, he gains 1.5 times attack. That's kind of pointless considering he has less HP, or a little more HP than him. He's going to die in one shot. He's not gaining defense. So that is why Perfect Cell didn't make this list either, guys. But her attack is 5680, which is pretty solid with 4 dupes. Oh, Hershey's 8 out of 10, not even 10. I could still do 50-50, and I still think that would be beautiful. She purely counters Toa. She's really good at countering Toa. Her speed is 5620, and she's gaining 500 speed per turn, guys. But the reason she is so good is the second part of her posing skill, is prevent all opponents from switching places until the end of next turn. She is one of the fastest characters in the game, and she has one of the best mechanics in the game. She literally makes you lock your characters in place. So she could potentially make you win the game round 2 if the other person isn't paying attention. Like, I've lost and I've won games with her simply due to the fact that I used her, Future Trunks, Vidal. I let Vidal get killed, and I hit your master directly twice with Trunks and Bay 18. You didn't block either one of them, so I could do it again the next turn. That's a kill, because they're doing a combined like 12,500 attack, like with no doubles. That's a guaranteed kill, guys. And I've been killed by that same tactic. So she is one of the best characters of the game. She is on my best team that I have. When I beat Sun Santana, in the last game where I beat him 4-3 in the series, she was on the team because locking people in place gives you a huge advantage. Not to mention, I don't even use her sometimes. I just use her as a threat. Like, screw up. I'm mentally messing with you by not using her. Because then the turn that you're not expecting her to go on the field, guess what? She's going on the field, and I win. Number 2, guys, is one of the oldest figures on the list. I think he is the oldest figure on the list. Him and Future Gohan. Is Future Trunks. Now, guys, there's really nothing more to say about him. Is his attack gains by 1,000, which means put 5270. His speed jumps up to 6620 when he gets that 1,000 attack, when he gets that 1,000 speed, which is more than her, more than you, and then more than you. But the best part about him is he goes in front of a Vidal. His trigger scores are solid, but he's making your master take 30% less damage. To me, that is one of the best posing skills, one of the best mechanics, because his is all right. But your master taking 30% less damage is huge because you can run a 2-lane setup and focus on one character to kill. Like him plus a Vegeta, that's a killed Vados. Him plus a UI Goku in front of him, if you want to run UI Goku off trigger square, that's a dead Vados. Like, I always think about speed teams against Vados, because eventually you're going to run into a defensive team with a speed team, and in that case, you need to take out the one character that's countering your entire team, and that's Vados. His trigger squares are good. Top, middle, bottom, left, by the way. Her trigger squares are amazing as well. There's a reason Blue Gogeta, the old OG one, and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta were so hot. Like, we're on this list. Their trigger squares were good as well. Her trigger squares are amazing. His trigger squares are amazing because he flip-flops with Vegeta, which allows you to run Vegeta with him. He allows you to run Vegeta with him and Vidal with him. Hence, the number 1 character on this list. The slowest figure on the list is Vidal. Guys, there's nothing else I can say about this character besides extremely broken. If you aren't running a speed team and I'm running a speed team, I am going to beat you in speed. It doesn't matter. If I have my best speed team, guys, like if this is my speed team, and you take out Vidal for you, and you put the fastest other character, which is him, cool. What's your fastest speed? That plus that, which is 13,670, plus that, which is 19,090 speed. Cool. Good luck going first, buddy, because all I got to do is this. And I'm going to outspeed you because I'm dropping it by 30%, which means you're going to lose about 6,000 speed, which drops you to the 6,000, which drops you by basically what Blue Gogeta is. And not to mention, he's making their defense drop by 30%, as she's making their defense drop by 30% as well, which means a defensive team also is severely weakened by her as well. This is like a perfect speed team. I might just keep this. Usually when I do these lists, guys, I'm like, what kind of team was I running? And then I was like, oh, I was doing a top 10 best figures list. This is like a phenomenal team I could run online and win with. Like, I think no problem. I think I could win with this team. I don't think it would be an issue. This team, because like I said, if someone has a Vidal, I am not going first. If they have this Vidal team, I'm not going first, because all you need is 1, 2, and 3, or 1, 2, and 3. Technically, you would want to go him, her, because, no, you would want to go him, her, him, and technically her, him. Wow. Pronouns, guys. But that's going to do it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Tomorrow is the best defensive figures list. Now, I'm just going to let you in on it right now. That's actually going to be pretty easy, I think. I think that's pretty cut, clean, and dry. It's like, there's going to be really no difficulties with it. Like, you're going to see characters that, like, yes, they don't have the best defensive stat, but just because of their posing skill, they're going to make it on the list. So, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe as always. I hope you guys enjoyed. Doody deuces, everybody. I love y'all. Let's get to 28K subs. We are at, well, my phone's at 1%. 2,793, guys. 7 away. Hit that like button. Smash the subscribe button. Love y'all. Stay saucy.